everybody and welcome back to my channel, and today I want to talk about Dylan Freeman, the autistic little boy who was murdered by his mother. And I'm going to read out the newspaper article and give you my own thoughts on the subject, so I hope you enjoy this little video from me. Let's get into the story. So Dylan Freeman was a 10-year-old boy with multiple disabilities, including autism, Cohen syndrome, and visual disabilities. His mother was severely depressed with psychotic symptoms when she used a sponge to suffocate her disabled son that she had with celebrity photographer Dean Freeman. Dylan Freeman's body was discovered at the family's home in Acton, West London. Olga Freeman rammed a sponge into his mouth. She was suffering from a severe depressive episode with psychotic symptoms. A Russian woman that has been accused of suffocating her disabled son with a sponge was severely depressed with psychotic symptoms at the time of his killing, the Old Bailey has heard today. Dylan Freeman's body had been discovered at the family home. Olga Freeman, the wife of celebrity photographer Dylan Freeman, had put a sponge into his mouth before laying him down to die next to his toys. A psychological report referred to in court on Wednesday determined Freeman had been suffering from a severe depressive episode with psychotic symptoms. The court heard Freeman was transferred to the Medium Secure Hospital, the Orchard Unit in Ealing, following her arrest. She appeared via video link on Wednesday from the centre wearing a grey shirt and spoke only to confirm her name. Dylan suffered from Cohen syndrome, a genetic disorder characterised by developmental delay, including disability, small head size, weak muscles, and visibility impairments. Gareth Patterson, the prosecuting, said the defendant was recently transferred to hospital under the Mental Health Act. Yesterday, the prosecution received from the defence a psychological report from Dr. David Bird. The defendant at the moment is not fit to plead, but in time she is likely to be fit to plead. And then the next bit says the partial defence of diminished responsibility is available to the defendant on the basis there was a severe depressive episode with psychotic symptoms. The court heard how Freeman had struggled to care for Dylan in the 6 months leading up to his death. Dylan suffered from a range of conditions including autism, it said. His cause of death was found to be restriction of the airway. Previous court dates heard that parts of the sponge had been found within his throat. It was always previously revealed that Freeman had been prescribed antidepressants shortly before the death of Dylan. Police found Dylan dead at the 544,000 flat in Cumberland Park on the 16th of August after Russian national Freeman walked into a police station. An inquest which opened in August heard that the 40-year-old mother had administered her son with a sleeping drug before putting the sponge into his mouth. She then tied it in place with a bra before calling her friend to tell her what she had done, West London Coroner's Court was told. Dylan's father, Dean Freeman, is best known for his pictures of celebrities, including David Beckham and the Spice Girls. He is the son of Robert Freeman, who took pictures for some of the Beatles' most iconic album covers. Olga Freeman of Cumberland Park, Acton, is accused of murdering her son. She remains in hospital ahead of her plea and trial preparation here at the Old Bailey. Dean Freeman earlier responded to and reported to be in Spain, and also snapped stars such as Bradley Cooper and Emily Ratajkowski. He previously said in a statement, Dylan was a beautiful, bright, inquisitive and artistic child who loved to travel, visit art galleries and swim. We travelled extensively over the years together, spending so much memorable times in places including Brazil, France and Spain. I can't pretend to comprehend his loss. So as you can see from that story alone, that's how the father feels. And then I'm going to give you the update from this. And it says, let me go through here. In the week leading up to the killing, Miss Freeman had spoken about saving the world and becoming a messiah, the Crown Prosecution Service said. Freeman appeared by video link to enter her plea and be sentenced on the 11th of February. Speaking after the hearing, the CPS Kristen Katoris described the death as tragic. She added Olga Freeman had loved and cared for Dylan for many years, but the strain and pressures of her son's severe and complex social needs had built up, and that combined with her impaired mental health led to the heartbreaking consequences. A post-mortem examination at Great Ormond Street Hospital recorded Dylan's cause of death as upper airway obstruction. The Met Police said Freeman had spoken to friends about struggling with the responsibility of caring for Dylan. On the night before his body was found, Freeman had booked 2 seats to a flight to Tel Aviv and told her friend not to go into Dylan's bedroom. At the time of his death, his father, celebrity photographer Dean, was in Spain. He described his son as a beautiful, bright, inquisitive and artistic child who loved to travel, visit art galleries and to swim. So, yeah, that's kind of, how I feel about things. And then it says, the senior coroner, Chinori Inema, opened the inquest on Tuesday morning and said the mother had recently been prescribed antidepressant tablets. He said Dylan had autism, Cohen syndrome, which affects many parts of the body and other issues. Inema said his mother appeared to be his sole and primary carer. She had recently been put on antidepressants. His mother called a friend in the early hours to state to the defendant she had killed her son. He said that the mother and her friend went to Acton Police Station in West London and told them what had happened. Police and paramedics went to Dylan's home in Acton, where he was found dead. The coroner said it appeared he had been administered a sleeping aid and had a sponge placed in his throat, tied with a strap. His body was identified 4 days later by his head teacher. The preliminary cause of death was given as restriction in the airway. There has been no other evidence of injuries caused by assault or restraint, the coroner said during the 8-minute hearing. Inema adjourned the inquest until March 2021, pending the outcome of any formal legal proceedings. Dylan's father, the photographer, has said he's been divorced from Dylan's mother for a number of years and was in Spain at the time of his son's death. Described his son as a bright, beautiful and inquisitive child. The mother is due to appear for plea in trial preparation. This was back in November last year. So the update is that she has actually pleaded guilty to she's pleaded guilty to diminished responsibility, that's it. So, yeah, she's basically admitted that she's done it and she's in a mental health hospital. And I just want to give my thoughts on it as a overall story. And, yeah, it's sad that Mrs. Freeman was struggling with mental health issues. I feel that this being failed by the mental health services and the pressure of looking after a child with special needs, such as autism and other disabilities, I can't imagine the pressure of being alone with a disabled child must have been hard on her mental health state of mind. She'd obviously been the constant parent looking after him, and I'm shocked that Mrs. Freeman didn't have any support from the mental health services or support workers or even temporary respite care to give her some time off. Maybe if this had been the case, maybe this heartbreaking situation wouldn't have happened. Also, Miss Freeman was also having hallucinations and claiming to be the Messiah of the world. Why was she not referred for mental health support? And surely this is a favour by the mental health services and the local doctor's office, which could have raised concerns as to her mental health state of mind. I don't understand why she's been left out without any form of support and why she was allowed to do what she did to her severely disabled child Dylan. And what her husband could have done whilst he was away on business. He could have come back, he could have helped care for Dylan. So unfortunately I feel this is a failure of the system. I think this is a failure of the mental health system. And yeah, I'm just shocked that this story was allowed to happen, that she felt the need to actually end his life and just take it in her own hands to take his own life. Like, that poor little boy didn't deserve to die. Like, you're a mother. Like, I can't imagine if I was a mother to murder my own disabled child. It's just, you wouldn't do it. And to say that, you know, she was having hallucinations, is fair enough, she was having mental health struggles and she was really struggling to get her support, obviously, and her husband being out of the country for work at the time obviously must have played a big part in her stressing out, feeling lonely, isolated. I get that. I'm not attacking the mother. I'm really not. I just want people to know this is not good enough. She should have not been failed. She shouldn't have had the need or want or desire to kill her autistic son. Whether he was disabled or not, it doesn't matter. It's still a case of being evil. It's still a case of lack of mental health support, lack of family support. Where were her family? Where were the family support network that could have cared for Dylan? Where were the people that are in her support circle? Where were they? Where are the people at mental health services, the doctors, the physicians, the psychiatrists, the medical services like the inpatient units we have here in the UK? Where have they been? Why weren't they looking after this woman? This woman clearly was mentally unstable and clearly had medical problems of her own doing. So therefore it's a failure of the system, it's a failure of the healthcare system, it's a failure of the criminal system to not have picked her up sooner and to maybe get her some respite care or even offer to place him in temporary respite care so at least she could have had a little bit of a break to herself. She clearly was not coping with Dylan's disabilities. That does not give her excuse to kill him. I'm not condoning it. I'm not saying that it was okay to kill her son. I'm really not. But this is just a case too close to home for me. It's something that happens over and over and over again. This is becoming too common. For me, I found a case where there's been a lot of autistic children being killed, or there's a lot of autistic children being abused by their parents because they can't cope or have the lack of support. So please leave a thumbs up for me. Please comment down below. I'll also link the articles down below in my video description. And I will see you in the next video. Bye guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.